About.
The ghost of the analytics past. As I remember it, well, we still have that very sad death of universal analytics that still touches my heart. And we all still remember that very fondly, that old platform. And now we are dealing with a variety of new platforms, including GA4. But one of the ones that happened most recently that I think back on, a big change in the industry, was all of the consent updates with V2 rolling out, and the necessity to have consent on our websites, and that changes the game for a lot of our young analytics colleagues who are coming into this field and needing to approach tracking in a whole different way. So I remember a time where consent was not part of this, but it should be, and it's and now we're dealing with that today.
We are in, and I have my 2025 Vision Civic Pro glasses, bam, here, to talk about this in the sunny Sweden today. What is the ghost of Christmas past? I think what we should definitely leave in 2024 is silos in conversion rate optimization and SEO and product. I think the product plus CRO type of combination had a good run. But I think what's going to be very interesting to explore is the combination of SEO and CRO into what I call search experience optimization. So I want to see more people from the CRO community collaborate more with SEO to be able to optimize landing pages based on user intent. So one of the cool things that I've done in 2024 is to use AI to be able to analyze search intent and what is the expectations that a user has before it reaches the website, and whether your landing pages are meeting these expectations. Do people have transactional intent? Do they have informational intent, or they just want to navigate better through your website? So you only can optimize landing pages, or you can only optimize category and product pages by understanding what people are expecting from you as a brand. So what should we leave in 2024 is definitely the silo with CRO and product. And I really, really encourage all CRO teams to go and have an SEO person in 2025 and try to speak more with these people to build very, very powerful top of the funnel strategies that meet user intent.
Okay, the ghost of Christmas past is, of course, universal analytics. Long gone this year. All the data is gone. Obviously, it stopped collecting 18 months ago now almost. But this last year, getting everybody to do a UA backup and trying to get that done. So that's the ghost of Christmas past. No more universal analytics. No more of that interface we all knew and loved.
All right. So the ghost of the past is relying on gut feelings instead of data-driven decisions. Using generic one-size-fits-all creatives, and of course neglecting customer feedback in order to improve the user experience. And I think the ghost of the past is about standard. If it worked in the past, let's keep it. So that's the ghost of the past, mostly around outdated ways to improve consumer behavior and neglecting things like qualitative and quantitative research into pushing marketing towards customers.
The ghost of the present right now is I would say that the ghost of the present is understanding how AI fits into all of the new analytics platforms. We start seeing AI insights popping up into different analytics platforms. We're starting to see AI being used for machine learning with predictive analytics. This has been around for a while, but it's becoming more normalized. And so this is becoming an everyday kind of practice of trying to understand where AI fits in. And this is definitely, AI is not advanced enough to replace, a lot of the ways that we have been approaching analytics, but it is starting to become part of our analytics every day. And as it advances, which are no spoilers for the future, because that's going to be a different question, but as it advances, it's definitely going to play a much bigger role into how we are approaching analytics.
The ghost of the present, I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, and obviously the recession had something to say this year. I think we've been all experiencing in the digital marketing community and tech community, we've experienced a few tough months at the end of the year. Maybe clients don't have the same appetite to invest in technology or in services. Maybe because we are still yet to discover how we can proactively use AI and technology into our workflows to create value, to be able to scale and deliver better services. But also, I think from a job perspective and a market perspective, I think right now we are experiencing a lot of layoffs and a lot of issues with finding new roles, or like you see very senior people struggling to find a new role. So for sure, it's a very, I think in the last few years, I probably think this year around, this present, the ghost of the present, is definitely the uncertainty in the market. I do think there's hope for things to be better in 2025, but for sure, I think the last quarter was definitely, based on what I see on social media, or like I'm talking to other people, or I see with clients and services, for sure there is more caution when it comes to opening your wallet. And it's a lot of caution also with roles and promotions, and the market is a bit uncertain right now. So that's one from a business or commercial perspective. Secondly, I think the ghost of the present is definitely AI, right? Like everybody is talking about it, everybody's trying to understand how to use it. But I think, as I said last year, I remember I said the same thing. I still think there's a very big educational gap for marketers, or for people in sales or in product, to understand truly what AI is. Like, it's not just ChatGPT. I'm repeating it. As I said it last year, it's not just ChatGPT. It's not just Gemini. It's not just Anthropic. It's not just Perplexity. AI is basically way more than that. It's machine learning. It's deep learning. It's a lot of the stuff that you probably do, like programmatic ads, or like multivariate testing, or like multi-arm bandit. It's still AI. Like everything that uses machine learning is pretty much kind of AI. So I think having this like kind of like rupture from general education when it comes to artificial intelligence definitely affects how we perceive the easiness of introducing AI in our services. And to this matter, I actually wrote an article maybe like a month or two ago about how you can actually justify and show ROI from implementing AI into your customer experience or CRO program. So I'm sure Enrico will probably link it, but you can find it if you just follow me on LinkedIn. You will see that I wrote about how can you show the ROI of implementing AI into your workflow. So definitely that's the ghost. I think also I talked about this in the podcast with Simo. I think what we are doing by just using ChatGPT or thinking about Gemini and all this stuff is that we are only looking at the abstraction of it. So it's obviously easier to look at an abstraction because you don't have to use your brain to understand how the code works behind. But actually, that's kind of like having that understanding of how hard it is to use and create one of this abstraction is going to, I guess, give people a better idea about how actually hard and costly it can be to scale and implement AI into your workflows. So yeah, that's the ghost of the present, AI, baby.
So the ghost of Christmas present is, so it's either I'm kind of going back and forth between Christmas present and Christmas future. Or so I think ghost of Christmas present is AI, because it is partly a ghost. It hasn't fulfilled. I mean, it's so good. I use it every day. We all do, I suspect. But it's just at times it's just not. It's not giving you the right answers. It's not. It doesn't know enough yet. So it's still. it's still a toddler. You know, it knows so much, but it's still a toddler, and it still gives you wrong information. And so I think that's a ghost of Christmas present, although it could be Christmas future. But
all right, so ghost of the present. Ghost of the present means ghost of the present is more about balancing the acquisition cost in order to get profitability, to make profitability happen due to a lot of competition. Ghost of the present is around combating cart abandonment with proper and relevant follow-up and creatives. Ghost of the present is also about product recommendations, predictive analytics, touching a bit in blending a bit the machine learning and AI to understand what customers are saying. So I think it's already ghost of the present that haunts us towards leveraging and making sense of huge amount of data thanks to the AI.
And the ghost of the future, the scariest of them all. Oh, my heart. The ghost of the future is definitely what AI does to the analytics field from an actual job perspective. What is AI going to take over in terms of what we're used to doing? Is it going to take over implementation jobs? Is it going to take over BI jobs? It's really a great unknown on how AI is going to affect the analytics field. And, it could be a very sad ending, or it could be a very happy ending, much like in the Christmas Carol, where you just don't know, until the very end. So, but ultimately, Scrooge becomes an amazing human at the end. And that's what I think is going to happen with AI too. Everything's going to work out and everybody's going to be happy and we're going to dance together somewhere in Europe, probably.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the future. So what is the future holding? For sure, we're still going to be hunted for the future ghost. We're surely still going to be hunted by the present, which is AI. But I also see a very interesting shift in the market with analytics tools. And I kind of feel like a lot of these alternative tools, just like Pivot Pro or Amplitude or others, are starting to gain a bigger traction than GA4 or other tools. So I'm excited for them and really, really happy. And for CRO tools, and this is a spicy take from Juliana, I really, really am excited for Amplitude A/B testing tool. I don't know if you used it specifically, but if you didn't, I really advise you to go and look at it because it's probably one of the best A/B testing tools I've seen. So seeing analytics platforms go further than analytics into activation, like you would activate audiences and A/B test them and then implement them and so on. Keep an eye on Amplitude A/B testing tool. Remember, Juliana said that. And also with the Pivot Pro, keep an eye on their CDP because they're building the first marketing first type of CDP where actually marketers can use it without having to stress themselves about data sources and oh my god, sampling and how am I going to use this? They're actually doing a fucking amazing job on making CDP easy and to use by everyone. So I see a democratization of access to activation technologies and activation tools from either Pivot Pro or Amplitude. Really, really, really bullish on the CDP. Really, really bullish on the A/B testing tool from Amplitude. And obviously AI. Privacy, yeah, we're still being hunted by the same ghost for the last 3 years. So this ghost needs to quit, and move on, so we can focus on other things. But again, what I'm excited about in 2025, SEO plus CRO, AI and customer experience, and then seeing tools like analytics tools actually go further into CDP and CRO. Really excited about that.
All right. So for me, that's BigQuery, and that could switch too. So either of those could be either one. But what I saw this year, because of the UA backups, which we did using Analytics Canvas and moved everybody to BigQuery for that. there's so much more interest and awareness of BigQuery amongst our client base, at any rate, this year. And so while we've been preaching the benefits of BigQuery for a long time, the UA backup actually drove a lot of that. So while we were getting clients onto BigQuery for UA backup, it's like, well, geez, you might as well get GA4 data going in there too. I mean, you've got it all set up. You have the Google Cloud Platform all set up. So let's just continue with the GA4 data. And since we're doing GA4 data, let's get Google Search Console in there too. And since you're doing that, let's get Google Ads data in there also. So now we're building for the future. We're building that great repository, and then we can get other stuff in there too, and pull it all together. So that was for me kind of the surprising benefit of the UA backups, is that we did have a lot of people on BigQuery, but we still had a lot of clients who hadn't moved there, and now most of our clients are on BigQuery. So that's what I'm thinking.
Oh man, so Ghost of the Future is around flipping upside down the AI. So instead of having companies that are pushing their strategies and their old school archaic mechanisms to be relevant at any touch point, one Ghost of the Future is going to be consumers building their AI agents to find the best clothes, to make their groceries, to find out the most impactful products for them. So I think that's going to be part of the future. I don't think that in the future we'll use fingers anymore to communicate with each other. So I don't know how distant is this future, but that's going to happen. Another in the near future, of course, natural language processing, making sure that AI is leveraging the work of data people, of CRO people. And that's why we are also building our own AI-powered CRO audit, so that the optimizers, the data people, will make sure that the hygiene parts are already checked. So I see no reason why we will not build an AI benchmark, a CRO benchmark, thanks to the AI, to analyze the e-commerce websites instead of taking any page step by step, looking at the PDP, the PLP, the checkout, and the cart. So I think that's the Ghost of the Future, that's for sure. AI leveraging qualitative and quantitative data in order to achieve profitability way more faster, because it's also part of the Ghost of the Future, way more competition and a lot of companies getting into oblivion.